Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Welcome to A Creator-Based Life. We are really glad you're here today, and we are really glad to be here too. There are inklings of summer in the air in Texas, and I'm a little bit punchy and a little bit trunky to just move into that amazing summer season. But I know it's only May, and y'all, a lot of you have kids still finishing school and stuff. You need to wait another few weeks until summer, but it's coming. It's coming. Say it. You know me, I'm Beth Bitzane Brooks, the author and creator of The Creator-Based Way. I'm here with Jacine Bonnet, a gifted business coach and a creator-based coach as well, and Jennifer DeRoos, also a creator-based coach and a hypnotherapist and just an inspired gardener. She's great. So we are here today to talk about the power of perspective. And I just want to talk to you, just tell you a little brief story about perspective in my life this morning. So last night, as we were turning off all the lights and getting ready for bed, there was water on the floor in the utility room underneath the water heater. And that wouldn't be a really big deal, except that the adjacent wall, there is a floor that's one of those laminate wood floors that if it gets wet will swell, and I will have to replace the entire 20 by 20 foot floor. So it needed immediate attention, and it wasn't happy because we were already tired. Troy was tired, Jared was tired, I was tired. We'd stayed up too late, and then we found this water. And Troy, bless his heart, stayed up and drained the water heater, and I found him asleep on the couch this morning. So he's just getting started. But when I got up this morning, I didn't get a warm bath, which I love a warm bath in the morning. And I didn't get warm water to wash my hands with when I came out from the garden. And there were just this series of things I didn't get that reminded me that the hot water heater was broken. Kind of just tainted my morning just this little bit. And when I came in the house and I put the eggs away, I dropped one.
Oh.
And not only did I drop one, but I landed, it bounced off the shelf in the refrigerator and landed in the bottom of the refrigerator, where it managed to go under the vegetable drawer, down the front, into the freezer, and all around the rim that sealed the door. One egg. That was the end of my morning perspective. That was it. I had this series of just little pinchy things that happened, but when that egg cracked, I had to really work my thoughts around how this is annoying. I just grabbed the roll of paper towels and got going. And while I was going with that, it was like, wow, how grateful I am that I have these eggs. I mean, it was only one of 8. We brought in 8 eggs. It was great. How glad I am to have a refrigerator that is clean enough that I notice that there's egg on it, because there have been seasons of my life when you wouldn't have noticed. And I just had to really work, because my perspective from my day shrank to the size of an egg. And to the mess. And I was just like ready to just walk away with it, because I didn't even have hot water to clean it up with. And then as I did those different thoughts where I found reasons to be grateful as I was sticking my fingernail down and cleaning the egg yolk out of the seal for the refrigerator door, it began to expand, and I began to be able to enjoy not the egg, but the clean refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just this moment, and I was like, yeah, because for me, lacking subtlety in my life, always up or down or up or down. And it only takes a little bit for my perspective to go from way out here, just right in front of my own nose, and how it completely affects me and nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
It steals my peace.
Mm-hmm.
It totally steals my peace. And so I thought today we could talk about things that we do or experiences that we have had about where our perspective narrowed or broadened, and how that pertains to what's it do to you in your life, the broader or the narrower. I know, Jen, you have had experiences with God with your accident and the things that happened to you that have given you a very broad perspective on the world in general, a deeply spiritual.
Yeah. I was thinking about this yesterday
Hopefully
and
you wouldn't do
today.
the egg thing. So there you go.
Yeah. I was thinking about this yesterday and today. And some of like my biggest perspective lessons, I mean, outside of, those personal big spiritual ones, have been like this little lessons on how you see things and how you think. So it's been more of like thought changing, perspective changing. One of them was when I was in college, I took an art class, a drawing class. Now, I'm not a painter or anybody that can draw anything outside of a stick figure. So it was really challenging. It was really challenging. But one of our first lessons was about perspective. And she placed a blanket in the middle on a desk and like arranged it and everything. And then she assigned us, like one of us had to stand really close to the blanket and draw it, like looking like this at the blanket.
Yeah.
One
Wow.
of us was on a chair looking down. One of us was laying down. One was far away. Was just all these different ways of looking at this blanket. And then we drew it and then displayed it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I was like, wow, like, because mine looked so different, not only because of the lack of talent. This was a beginnings class, but it was different because of the way we looked at the blanket.
Hmm.
And I was able to take that into like, how do I look at things? And so when something is happening to me or I'm thinking of something, I'm like, do I need to stand back? Or do I need to get underneath it? Or do I need to get over it and just look at it in a different way? So that was one of my biggest like lessons on it.
That's
how
really
you
big.
see things.
It reminds me of the photography that was so popular a number of years ago, where they would take a photograph super, super up close,
Mhm.
sometimes with lots of magnification even,
Uh-huh.
of a dandelion or a rock or, something like
Mhm.
that. And there were whole books written. Can you guess what it is?
What is this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Yeah.
From that up close, super up close perspective. And that's kind of how I tend to live my life, is super up close perspective. When my perspective is broader, everything makes so much more sense in context,
Mhm.
Yeah,
especially in the creator's context. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I agree with that. Jen, it reminded me of an experience that I had years ago when we lived in Banks. We had 20 acres and we were really proud of our property and all of the work that we put into it. And we had horses, and Mark and I, we would always ride up behind our place up into the woods. And this one day we decided, well, we're going to go around the property and then go down the ditch road. And it was a different route that was low. And so we did that, and we got to the back of our property, and I looked at it and I'm like, and we didn't have a whole lot of neighbors that you could see, but from on that side of the house, there were neighbors that were about, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile away. And we were at the back of their property looking at ours. And we were like, I was horrified at the sight that they look at, because what they saw was the back of our parking structure that we had that was a lane where the horses would go through. And in the valley, there's a lot of rain. And so there's mud and muck that they're going through right in that alleyway to get in from the pasture into the corral where they ate. And so there was mud just caked on the back of that parking structure. And it looked horrible, because there's just mud and it was just, I was horrified. And I'm like, oh my gosh, those people must think that we are like, how disgusting are these people? Look at what we have, the sight that they see. Um, and then we kept riding and we went back up and then looked at our property up at a higher view where we could see everything. And I just think so often, and it's just a gorgeous view. And so often we get our perspective is just this little postage stamp, right?
Yeah.
It's what's right in front of our eyes. And if they didn't know us, which one of them knew us, but the other two didn't. If they didn't know us, like their thoughts about us could be totally different than who we really are and how pristine we kept things and, the persona that we had and how proud we were of our property. But I think so often that without that higher perspective and being able to look at things as a whole, it really clouds our view of so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of a lesson. Oh gosh, I don't know what training I was in. I can't remember, but the woman held up a rock, and so I brought a rock. And she says, usually when she would work with people, it must have been a coaching thing. I can't remember. She's like, a lot of times when somebody is coming with a problem, it's because they have the rock and they only see this big rock in front of them. And
the rock is right here in front of their eye,
and
right?
And it's everything. It's like everything.
Yeah.
All they see is like up close, it's big, it's huge. And it's like our responsibility as a coach or whatever is to help them move that rock out. So they see, oh, it's just this big and I could manage just this big. And to me, that was like, oh, it's like bringing perspective to the issue and to the problem.
Yeah, it really is. Because when you look at whatever happened that day in the context of your lifetime,
it's small.
It's very
it could be small. Let's put it that way. It could be small.
Yeah.
There are some much smaller than what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. My granddaughter gave me a rock for Mother's Day that has a heart painted in the center, but it's only the size of a quarter, very much like what you, and it has the perfect indentation for your thumb. It's just got this little groove on it. Yeah. And when I think about that in front of my eye, it would completely obscure everything, but moving it back, I love that. Yeah.
Interesting too, Beth. That close to your eye, you may not even recognize it as a heart.
I wouldn't. No, I would have to get it out here,
and then you would see
at least to recognize it was a yellow painted heart, so it kind of blends into the light colored rock. Yeah, she's great. And then when I got it out here, but interestingly, what would happen if it was 30 feet away?
Possibly not even be able to see it too.
I wouldn't. Yeah, and so that super distant perspective, a lot of times, I know when I first started my journey to health and changed the way I ate, and my goal was to bring my body into a healthy state. I had about 100 pounds that I needed to lose to bring myself into a healthy state. And there was no possible way I could conceive 100 pounds.
Oh, right.
It was just like putting that rock way out there.
Yep.
Yeah. I just couldn't. I could do 5. I could think, okay, I'm going to work on this first 5. And we started, the girls that I was working with, we started referring to them to it as chickens because a chicken weighs about 5 pounds. So in order to bridge the perspective, it was, okay, I have 20 chickens that I'm going to release. And I don't know how long it'll take, but every time 5 pounds went by, I could say I lost another chicken. And I could do that. It like brought the perspective into what I was doing rather than this distant I don't know, nebulous idea
Yeah.
of becoming a Barbie doll. It's, you know, was really wild. Yeah. What do you think about putting perspective in a creator-based context as opposed to a world-based context, or an everyday, this is how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and clean up the egg kind of context? What do you think about how that works?
Man, it just takes me back to an experience that I had when things were just so hard, and getting through one moment or 1 hour or one day was just, it was
Yeah.
just hard. It was
Yeah.
just hard. And there were so many times that I just had to go through and I just had to go through moment to moment. And I remember just being on my knees so often, just pleading, help me, help me, help me. And in that, I wondered if I could make it. And it was interesting. It was just having that picture of the of Jesus Christ in my mind, reaching out to me and saying, walk with me, walk with me,
I've
take
got
a
you.
walk with me. And when we walked, I remember writing in my journal, we always walked to higher ground.
Oh, neat.
We always walked to higher ground. And he would say, hey, look and see, look and see.
And look what you can see on your property in Banks from higher ground, right?
Yes, yeah. And it was just, it brought peace. And I remember writing in my journal, when I walk with God, when I walk with my creator, with my thoughts and my trust and my, I choose to listen to his voice. He always takes me to higher ground. He never takes me down.
Oh, you
Never
are
takes me down and under anything. It's
never.
always higher, lifts me higher. And so when I thinking about it in the creator-based way, which is compassion, mindfulness, and hope, right?
Right.
All of those things, I can, like with Jen, getting curious. Okay, how can I be compassionate in this moment? How can I be mindful in this moment? How can I have hope in this moment? And so if you guys out there, and it's a practice, right? It's a practice, but
It is a practice, and it's a lifelong practice. It is not a perfect. It's a
no.
practice.
And we get to try it every day. But I think if we could remember just one of those aspects and ask ourselves the question, how can I be compassionate in this moment? Or how can I be mindful in this moment? Or how can I have hope in this moment?
Yes.
Just those three CMH, guys, it's super easy to remember.
Yep.
How can I have this in this moment of trial right now?
Love that. One of my favorite questions when I get curious is, how would I respond? How would I respond differently if I truly believed nothing has gone wrong here?
Mm.
And I've coached a lot of people. And when I get to that phrase, really, nothing has gone wrong here, 9.5 times out of 10, I get yelled at.
Oh, I know. She did that to me. And I was like, absolutely not, Beth. It is all wrong.
Me too. Oh, me too. I could not grasp that concept. I'm with you, Jen. I was just like, what?
No, it is all wrong.
Do you not see what's going on? Did you not hear what I just said? Like,
Right.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
The question isn't, is there really something going wrong? The question is, how would I respond differently if I truly believed nothing has gone wrong here? And of course, the first thing that comes up in our face is something really has gone wrong here. But if we can enlarge our perspective just a little to how would I respond? Because one of the most important facets in creator-based coaching is we choose to be, to respond rather than to react, right? We choose to take ownership of our emotions and craft a response rather than just being swept away we can't always. I mean, there truly are traumatic things that just happen. But a lot of the time, we do have that ownership and we can choose it, choosing out of the habit of just reacting. So for me, how would I respond if I truly believed nothing had gone wrong here? That was kind of, I know it's such a small thing, but at 6 o'clock in the morning, dropping an egg in the middle of your refrigerator is not a small thing. It's just not. I hadn't even had a cup of tea yet. And so just to say nothing has gone wrong here, I can shift this around and I can allow it just to be part of the day and just flow through, and it's no big deal. But it could have.
Mhm.
And we all have had those days when, your coffee gets dumped in your lap on the way to work, or your kid throws up in the back seat of the car and you really need to be somewhere. It does feel like something has gone seriously wrong. But how would we respond differently if we believed nothing had truly gone wrong?
Mhm.
It takes that weight. It takes all the power out of the event because your perspective changes.
Mhm.
I know, Jen. I know.
No,
Something really did go wrong.
no. Well, you know what it does? It opens up to possibility instead of being stuck in just that it's wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
opens up to like there are possibilities that this could be different. Yeah.
Right. Could it be different? Yeah. And
Mhm.
so when you look at perspective as we go through this week, maybe that's the question. How could I see this differently? Could this be different? Could it be that I'm seeing it this close? Could it be that I need to come in closer? Is it seriously something has gone wrong? Is it my perception? How could I choose to respond? There's just a lot of opportunity for us, especially based in our Creator. We really need to involve God in the process. Yeah, it's huge. Because we teach you are the creator of your life experience. And you are. You have all the power. You have light and truth, all the power that you need to create what you've been given. They're just your ingredients, just like soft clay. You have that power. Well, let's talk a little bit about upcoming events because we got some really great events coming. JC, you want to tell us about the Joy Retreat? It's
The Joy Retreat. Oh my gosh. Yes, it just dovetails with what we're talking about so well today. It's finding those small and simple things in our lives to bring us joy. And we're going to have a little joy practice with that. And I'm hoping that Jen will lead us through maybe
some
just
imagery.
a
Ooh,
joy
Jen, some imagery. Can
imagery.
we have imagery, please?
Oh, absolutely. Now I got to think about, okay, what do we want to do? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk with you later on and
It's like
let you
my
know kind of
favorite
what
part of
we're
those
going.
Saturday retreats is to have that because it just lets everything close down and lets me just come fully relaxed. And I always walk away so light after those images.
Well, when you think of a
inspired.
retreat, right? When you think of a retreat, that really is what we need. Yes, we have some learning, we have some aha moments, but if we can just retreat for 20
Reset.
or 30 minutes and
Yeah.
just be in that moment of imagery, oh my gosh, how
It
incredible.
is just so good. Yeah. Just
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Magical, even, if you will, Jen.
Yeah. So
So
come.
it's 9 o'clock Central on
Mhm.
our Zoom link. And if you're on our email list, you will get the Zoom link over and over again. If you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you will get the Zoom link over and over and over again. It's just a real simple thing. It's the same Zoom link we use for our classes. Just come join us for that. Now, I have noticed, remember the snafu that we had with the Monday morning inspiration emails going to spam?
Oh yeah, yes.
The number is coming back up, but I think people still have some going to their spam folders. So if you're not getting Monday morning inspiration, if you're not getting the emails that talk about the Joy Retreat,
So sad. You need
check your spam. You don't want to miss it. And mark us, and same thing if you're not seeing us on YouTube, subscribe so you're not missing what we're doing so that you're not left out because we want to share this joy and this light with you. Yeah. Speaking of joy and light, are we finished with the book in book club this week? Is this our
No,
last week? What are we
no,
doing?
we actually have quite a few weeks left because May is a long month. So, lots of Thursdays. It's The Small and the Mighty by Sharon McMahon. I was just looking up the author's name.
It's so inspiring.
It really is, and it's just I have enjoyed learning the history of these people that feel like they're insignificant and they're just doing what they do. And
They're
it
just regular
creates
folks.
it's that ripple effect, right? It's they're doing the right things for the right reasons, and it creates that ripple effect, which really creates change. And so if you think that there's no possible way that what you do or say could ever have any significance, you're wrong.
You're wrong. You're so wrong. You're so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we'll continue. Everybody's kind of in a different place. And it's funny because I started listening like you, Beth, and she does go on these
She goes
rants.
on her little political opinions every
on
once in
her
a
rant.
while.
Yeah, and there are sometimes I just fast forward through the rants because I'm more interested in the story than her personal opinions.
Yep. And I have been known to eye roll, but her stories are amazing.
They are.
They
They
are
are.
really,
And
really, really good.
And
Yeah.
that's really, and then I had just like a really cool experience. And I know we're short on time, but I had just listened to a story about in World War I how they used carrier pigeons to talk, right?
Yes, to send messages back. It was
Message
like
back and
Wi-Fi.
yeah, and so I had listened to that, I think on Thursday or Friday, and Saturday I went out front, and at our front pond was a carrier pigeon, and
Oh
she
my word.
yes, she had a little leg thing, and then she had her number on her, and you could tell. Like I went out and I just talked to her, and she just was. So anyway, it was
What
just
are the
really cool.
odds,
I was like,
JC?
that is so cool. Yeah, and I sent Jen a picture. I'm like, what do you know about these? What should I do? And she was just resting. She stayed for about 4, maybe 5 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then she was like, okay, I'm ready.
Off to
Time
complete
to go find
class.
home.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
It was cool.
Remember last week when we talked about playfulness, how fun that was?
Yes.
Well, we are going to live by our own words the first week in June. Y'all need to know this. There will be no podcast that week. There will be no Coach and Clear that week. There will be no mastermind that week because we are going out to play. Yeah, so the CMH coaching is going to be closed that first week in June for the whole week. And we'll give you just a minute to miss us, but we'll be back on the 8th of June, and we're going to begin summer self-care.
Mhm.
And so that's coming, and that's something to just get excited about. But if you need some time off, or you need to catch up on some recordings, or you need to work on something that first week in June, that's a good time for it. And we'll all be back.
Or you can go play too.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, or you could totally go play.
You should.
You should.
Oh, that's a should stick.
But no should
It would
sticks.
be awesome if you would do that, if you would choose to do that.
You can choose, but this could be
Yes.
a really fun idea.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, y'all just have a beautiful, beautiful week. Come to the Joy Retreat Saturday morning and just bask in some light and some goodness and get your recharge going. And we will be back next Monday to talk again.
I fill my mind with
Thanks.
gratitude. I give thanks for
Bye.
everything, with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on Linktree/CMHcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
Choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think